English idioms used in sentences. As safe as houses. Extremely secure or well protected. If something is as safe as houses, it is very safe and reliable. I locked your jewelry in a drawer, so it's as safe as houses. No matter what happens in coming months, your position in this company is safe as houses. And just how do you expect us to get into that vault? It's safe as houses, just look at the alarm system. Investing your money with us is as safe as houses. Both managers can count on one thing, their jobs are safe as houses. In seventh heaven. In a very happy state. If you are in seventh heaven, you are extremely happy. I've been in seventh heaven ever since I got engaged. And was really in seventh heaven when she got a car of her own. I'd be in seventh heaven if I had $1 million. John was in seventh heaven when the director praised his speech. After I was given my first camera, I was in seventh heaven. 24/7. All day, all the time. Often written as 24/7. It's short for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know you can call me 24/7 if you ever need anything. Okay? It's the only shop in the entire city that's open 24/7. We offer 24/7 customer support for anyone whose credit card is lost, stolen, or locked. If you have problems, call me 24/7. It doesn't matter if I'm sleeping. On thin ice. In a risky situation. If you try that, you'll really be on thin ice. That's too risky. If you don't want to find yourself on thin ice, you must be sure of your facts. After failing the midterm, he was on thin ice with his math teacher. You're on thin ice, Jefferson. If you come in late one more time, you're fired. Billy is on thin ice and is in great danger. All wet. Totally wrong. Completely mistaken. Considering all of our failed experiments, our method must be all wet. Please, you're all wet if you think you'll be able to effect real change in this corrupt city. That's not the correct answer, John. You're all wet. If you think that prices will come down, you're all wet. If you think you can beat the system and win at roulette, you're all wet. I thought she was all wet, but was too busy to bother arguing with her. Rain cats and dogs. Rain extremely heavily. We were so disappointed that it rained cats and dogs for our whole vacation in Hawaii. We wanted to have a barbecue this weekend, but it's been raining cats and dogs since Friday evening. I'm not going out in that storm. It's raining cats and dogs. We can't possibly play golf today. It's raining cats and dogs out there. It was raining cats and dogs, so I couldn't walk to the store. Smoke like a chimney. Smoke cigarettes, cigars, pipes, etc., continuously and in large amounts. My grandma smoked like a chimney and lived to be 94 years old, so I can never take people's warnings about cigarettes too seriously. Every Sunday, my father would plunk himself in his favorite armchair with the newspaper, smoking like a chimney. My uncle smoked like a chimney when he was living. Somebody who smokes like a chimney in a restaurant ought to be thrown out. You think I smoke a lot? You should meet Joe. He smokes like a chimney. A straight arrow. An honest or genuine person. If you describe someone as a straight arrow, you mean that they are very conventional, honest, and moral. I was very much a product of my environment. I was very traditional, a real straight arrow in lots of ways. Several friends described Mr. Menendez as a straight arrow who rarely drank and was close to his family. Kristen was often mocked by her peers for being a straight arrow who always followed the rules and stayed out of trouble. You can always trust Sarah to tell the truth. She's a straight arrow. Mark is such a straight arrow, he never bends the rules, even when no one is watching. If you're looking for honest advice, talk to Emma. She's a straight arrow in everything she does. In the dark. Knowing nothing about something. If you are in the dark about something, you know nothing about it. We were in the dark completely about the testing that these facilities were doing. Workers were kept in the dark about the plans to sell the company. She arrived at the meeting as much in the dark as everyone else. They kept me in the dark about their plans. I'm in the dark about who is in charge around here. I can't imagine why they are keeping me in the dark. She's in the dark about how this machine works. Put one's face on. To apply makeup to one's face. Hold on, let me put my face on before you take a photo. She never leaves the house without putting her face on first. Martha's gone to put her face on. We'll be on our way once my wife has put her face on. Helen won't stir out of the house before she puts her face on. Take a hike. Get out of here. Go away. Listen, I don't want to buy any, so why don't you just take a hike and leave me alone? Take a hike, Jerry. I'm sick of your foolishness. I'm going to bed now. Why don't you take a hike? I'm not interested in your opinion, so why don't you just take a hike? He kept bothering me about the project, so I told him to take a hike. as pale as a ghost. Exceptionally pale. I get terrible motion sickness, so I'm sure I was as pale as a ghost when I stumbled off the plane. She was pale as a ghost after that car nearly ran into her on the sidewalk. Wow, you look pale as a ghost. Are you feeling okay? Laura came into the room as pale as a ghost. As sharp as a tack. Intelligent and a quick thinker. Ted's as sharp as a tack, so he'll find a solution to this problem. My granddad may be old and cantankerous, but he's still sharp as a tack. You can't get anything past him. Even after a long day at work, Sarah's mind is still as sharp as a tack when solving complex problems. My grandmother may be 85, but she's still as sharp as a tack when it comes to remembering details from her childhood. During the meeting, Tom was as sharp as a tack, quickly pointing out errors in the report. A cold day in July. Something that is highly unlikely or will never happen. It'll be a cold day in July before he admits he was wrong. Getting him to help around the house will happen on a cold day in July. She said she'll quit her job on a cold day in July. She loves it too much. Winning the lottery is about as likely as seeing a cold day in July. You'll catch me running a marathon on a cold day in July. I'm just not into running. Back on one's feet. In good health again after a period of injury or illness. Jill is happy to be back on her feet again after her hospital stay. Yes, I was sick earlier this week, but I'm back on my feet now. Have you talked to Aunt Nancy since her surgery? Is she back on her feet yet? I will go back to work as soon as I get back on my feet. I want to get back on my feet as soon as possible. Have one foot in the grave. Be close to death or in terrible condition. When I had the flu last week, I felt like I had one foot in the grave. I was so sick, I felt as if I had one foot in the grave. Poor old Uncle Herman has one foot in the grave. Jane looks as though she has one foot in the grave. No spring chicken. No longer young. I'm no spring chicken, so I can't stay out till 2 a.m. drinking and dancing anymore. That actress is no spring chicken, but she does a pretty good job of playing a 20-year-old girl. I may be no spring chicken, but I can still keep up with the younger folks at work. She's no spring chicken, but she still runs marathons every year. He's no spring chicken anymore, so he needs to take care of his health. Never in a million years. Not at any point. Under absolutely no circumstances. Never in a million years Did I think that I would actually win the lottery? Do you think Samantha will agree to go on a date with Jake? Never in a million years. I would never in a million years eat that spicy food. It's way too hot for me. Never in a million years would I have guessed they'd win the lottery. Round the corner. Likely to happen very soon. It's so hard to believe that the holiday season is round the corner again already. Our company is devoted to the self-driving car and believes that its widespread use is right round the corner. It certainly hasn't been easy getting through this year, but, hey, January 1st is right round the corner. With summer just round the corner, there couldn't be a better time to treat your home to a bright new look. General elections, of course, are just round the corner. Music to one's ears. Something that is pleasing to hear, such as good news. When Michelle heard that her son and daughter-in-law were going to have a baby, it was music to her ears. So they're getting married? That's music to my ears. When I heard that the meeting was cancelled, it was music to my ears. After a long day, her laughter was music to my ears. The news of a promotion was music to his ears. 9 times out of 10. Almost always. 9 times out of 10, I can count on getting stopped at this red light. 9 times out of 10, people will choose coffee rather than tea. 9 times out of 10, our opponents will beat us. 9 times out of 10, she's right about people, but this time she was wrong. Once in a blue moon. Very rarely. Peter only comes out for a drink once in blue moon, now that he has kids. Sue's daughter only visits her once in a blue moon. We only see our daughter once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon, I buy a fashion magazine, just to see what people are wearing. Like shooting fish in a barrel. Extremely easy. Finishing that easy project was like shooting fish in a barrel. Winning the trivia game with all those easy questions was like shooting fish in a barrel. Convincing my friend to go to the movies was like shooting fish in a barrel. She loves films. Finding a parking spot at the mall early in the morning is like shooting fish in a barrel. Getting an A on that open book test felt like shooting fish in a barrel.